Hi everyone, my name's Sonia Grover. I'm an intuitive coach for transformation, creative and author. And welcome to today's live. This month we're going to be exploring really the topic of awakening and aligning. And particular today we're going to look at expanded awareness. Today I'm going to be talking about what real awareness is and how it can change your life. We're going to look at the core concepts of it, but also I'm just going to tell you a little story about things relating to me that may be relatable to you, where I've found I've got an expansion of my awareness or consciousness. Then we're going to do a little practice, and then we're going to finish with a lovely little card reading for the week. So let's take a breath. So let's just breathe in and breathe out, dropping into this now moment. And let's begin. And the whole reason that I started with that last sentence was just to bring us into a conscious awareness of this moment. And for me, being aware in the moment is stepping outside of the story that your mind tells you. Stepping outside of that and becoming conscious of what you are experiencing. A bit like the observer, for want of a better term. So you become aware of perhaps things that you're sensing and feeling internally, and you're observing them. And where they have all come from is from the moment that you pop out of the birth canal, for want of a better term, you are being influenced and learning, because you are learning. You're learning to talk, you're learning to walk, you're learning to communicate, and so it goes on through all of life. You're being influenced by what is around you. What is around you in your environment, but more importantly, who is communicating with you? Your primary carers. Maybe your parents, maybe your grandparents, maybe somebody else. Who you come into contact with, who the siblings are around you, even what animals you may or may not have in your house or connect with. Your teachers. And whether that be formal teachers in a nursery or a school, or whether that be teachers for something specialist that you've chosen to actually learn. You're being influenced by social media, by how and when you are communicating, what you are consuming. And I don't mean what you're eating, although that can have an effect on your whole system, but what you are consuming. What are you watching? Are you choosing to watch it? Or has it just become a habit? How are you interacting on social media? Or has it just become a habit? And of course, when said like this, if you really sit down and reflect on it and contemplate it, can be quite overwhelming, because you're talking about every aspect of your life. So I would always suggest, if there's an area that you might want to become more aware of, a particular habit pattern, for example, that you may wish to change. You've become aware that that particular habit pattern, whatever that is, and that may be whatever you're consuming, whether the consuming is actually something physical, some food or some drink, whether it's something that you've just got into a habit of that you don't wish to do anymore or don't wish to participate in, or whether it's something that you're not doing and you wish to start doing. It's to become aware in the moment. And how do you do that? So I would suggest taking one element, whatever that might be, and just really saying, okay, I want to become more aware in that moment of what is going on. It may be your interactions with a person, it may be your own internal interactions, but you've come to a conclusion that actually that's not making you particularly feel good. That is restricting your energy. It is shrinking your energy. It is not on a vibration of making you feel expanded. And what does this actually do? Well, the way that you can change your life by expanding your moment by moment awareness, when you become aware of something that you are participating in, whether that is externally, you're going somewhere, doing something, talking to someone, or internally, you're having an internal reaction, by becoming aware of it in the moment, opens up you to making a decision about your own life in that moment. So let me give you an example, and this one may make you smile or not, but I've been dancing for quite a few years, and a few years ago I decided that I wanted to start belly dancing. Always wanted to do belly dancing. I think I was a belly dancer in another life, but anyway, went along, started doing belly dancing, and I found it quite challenging, if I'm honest. It was like each week, or once for 4 sessions, we're learning a new routine, right? So it wasn't something I was used to, with that speed of change of learning something. So I did find it quite challenging. And then I found that I had this inner critic going, oh well, they seem to get it okay, but you're not getting it very well. And so I started to observe what was happening with me and what was happening in the classroom, if you like, how it was affecting me. And I found that the more that I focused on what I was doing rather than what everybody else was doing, I'm then more focused in the moment. So I'm actually picking up the moves. I'm actually learning the moves. I'm actually hearing the song. I'm hearing the beats of the song and when I'm going to do a particular movement. We've got mirrored walls, which was a bit of getting used to as well. So I could watch myself and I could watch the teacher. The other thing I noticed is that there seemed to be people at the front that seemed to be a lot more confident. And I was kind of at the back, or I didn't want to be at the front, you know, so, and then some of these people moved up to the next class. And so this kind of went on. And as I started to get more comfortable, I was like, hang on a minute, if I'm at the front, I can see myself better. I can kind of get this vibe, because I'm closer to the teacher, that I may feel more confident. Now, was it because I was near the teacher? Was it because I was near the front and I could see myself in the mirror? It was probably a number of things, but I found that when I was, me personally, near the front, it gave me more confidence, because I was like in front of the teacher. I kind of like needed to, right? So that was an awareness of what was happening there. Another part of this, which is quite funny, I came to find out that when I went belly dancing, obviously you're moving your belly a lot, right? And you're moving your hips and your waist and everywhere that you're digesting food, really. So it's really not a good idea. It's really not a good idea to eat soon to when your actual class is. So sometimes it's like, you know, I just ate like half an hour before, which is really not a good idea. So I realised, no, I can't do that, because I felt uncomfortable and couldn't move. It was physically difficult for me to do it, and then I was more focused on feeling uncomfortable than trying to learn the move. So this one night, I must have had cabbage or something, right? I don't know what it was, but I go along, and as I'm driving, I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop farting. And you know, with like cabbage or something like that, if you haven't had it in a while, it's, you know, it's not a silent one, is it? It can be loud or it can be silent, but it's kind of deadly, as they say, right? So I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this class? Because I can't stop farting, and, you know, even it's making me feel ill. So we go along. Needless to say, I managed not to fart, but what was I focused on for the whole evening? Not farting. So when we had a break, I quickly go to the toilet and let out all this hot air that's been generating inside of me, wanting to be released. Did I learn the routine very well that night? No. Did I manage to not fart in front of everybody? Yes. So that was a plus, right? But this is what I'm talking about. It's like, so that's just a everyday example. And the reason I've given that example and nothing more complex is because that's life, right? And when we pick the moments like that, which are more obvious, and they also make you laugh, well, they make me laugh anyway, something that makes you laugh, it's going to be a fun thing to do, and you're also going to remember it. So yeah, that's a kind of an example of where I, because it was something new to me, I was bringing more awareness. And it can go, when you think of awareness in the moment, it can be something as, in a way, relatively simplistic like that, or it can cross almost like all timelines and dimensions, right? A myriad of layers of what's going on, my reactions, my feelings, my sensitivities, what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, what I'm noticing in the room. It can be multiple levels, and not just what is going on at that moment, but it can also make you think of the future and of the past, and and then we've almost got into a spiral of not being in the now moment, right? So yeah, so that was an experience of that. So there are different tools and techniques, and what I want to share with you today is something that's really, really simple, does not take very long at all, and can bring you back into balance. Because when we've gone consciously or unconsciously into our mind, or our mental body is one way of describing it, it's quite hard to get back, and before we know it, we're not in a state of balance and clarity, when we're in a state of reacting from possibly traumas, possibly anxiety, possibly whatever it might be, but we're not having a conscious reaction and choosing how we are integrating and reacting to whatever's going on around us or even inside of us. So, and this is breath work. Now, breath work, there are millions and millions of videos about breath work, and over the years I've learnt breath work from different gurus, if you like, different teachers, colleagues, friends, all different people, and there are many ways to do it. And some of you may know Wim Hof is very famous for his types of breathing, when he puts his body and trains people to put their body into extreme temperatures, typically cold, but maybe hot. So what I found personally was the one thing that just brought me into a state of calm. So this one is if I'm feeling that I'm not in a state of calm, and I may be noticing that in my body, I may notice that my breathing changes. I may notice that I'm feeling anxious. I may notice that my heart is fluttering. I may notice that my stomach starts to get butterflies and fluttery. And so that's my body telling me that I'm feeling not calm, and I'm feeling anxious about something. And of course, very hard to be in an expanded state of awareness when you're feeling anxious or another type of emotion that is expressing itself within you physically. Lack of clarity, brain fog, all those types of things. So here's the breath. The simple breath, and I found that I can, with about 3 to 5 breaths, I can get my stability back. Sometimes it takes longer. When I say stability, I mean awareness in the moment, where I'm not in a state of anxiety or panic or whatever those other emotions are. The key to it is doing what suits you. It's simply breathing in through the nose, if you can. Most people are able to breathe through the nose. So breathing in through the nose. You're breathing in, for me, you're breathing in for a count of 4. And you can do it quickly, right? It doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to count. Just go. Take a deep breath in. Hold for 1 second, and then out through the mouth. And your intention is to focus on the breath, and to focus on the out breath through the mouth being as long as you can. So it can simply be 4 breaths in, hold for 1 breath, 4 breaths out, or the count of 4, I should say. Count of 4. 4 breaths in, 4 counts in, hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts in, hold, 4 counts out. And I'm not counting seconds. I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just counting. It may be a second, maybe slightly less than a second. Don't get hung up on the amount of time. What I found was, as I did this, if I could increase it and double it, that was even better. And from a scientific perspective or a health perspective, what it actually does is changes the vagus nerve, which is one of the things that gets into this fight or flight. And you may have heard of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. All it means is that our nervous system starts to switch from a place of regulated calm to a place of, do I need to be worried? Do I need to run? Do I need to sit there and be frightened? The fight or flight. Okay, so we're going to try it now, and I want you to see if you can try it a bit longer. So we're going to breathe in, and then when we breathe out, I found if I make a noise with my mouth as I breathe out, it helps me to retain the breath for longer. So let's try a few times. So breathing in through your nose for 4. Hold. Try and breathe out for 8. Breathing in for 4. Hold. Breathing out for 8. Do one more. Breathing in for 4. Through your nose. Hold. Breathing out for 8. Now, you may or may not notice a difference in how you are feeling, but it's more the fact that it is something really simple you can practice. Say you're out somewhere, or you're with some other people, and you're finding that you've got a bit anxious about whatever. You're not feeling in a calm, balanced way. Pop to the toilet. Say, I just need to go to the toilet. Pop to the toilet. Do that for 3 minutes. Take yourself away from others. Or if you're on your own, just start to do it. And it can be helpful to do this with some calming music. If you're on your own, it can be helpful to do it by looking at a video, but again, you want it really not to be stimulating, okay? So something that's going to soothe you, and for most people, something that soothes them to look at is something like animals or nature or a waterfall or the sea or mountains, whatever one kind of does it for you, but nothing that's going to stimulate you, okay? Because you're looking to de-stimulate yourself and start getting the dopamine, the serotonin, the calming endorphins, not the accelerating adrenaline and cortisol, which has started to be even slightly active in you if you found that you are feeling slightly uncomfortable or anxious. Anyway, try it out, see if you like it. And what I always say is, and I will always say this, if you really, really like it, then it resonates with you, and do it more. If you really, really don't like it and really think, oh, for God's sake, what I found is that if I have quite an aversion to something, there's usually something I can learn from that. Not necessarily that I will like whatever that is, but there will be some unfolding for me. There will be some awareness for me in that moment when I start to reflect on why I have such a negative response to what that is. If you're like, I can take it or leave it, I can take it, I can leave it, I'm not really bothered, then you could just try it and see whether it grows on you or it doesn't grow on you. There are loads of different tools and techniques. This is the first of many that we'll be covering. So just decide, maybe write it down, maybe tune in and say, when you tried it a few times, how would I rate that? Because it's good to sometimes be objective about these things. Sometimes we can get a bit too subjective about stuff. So, maybe say, okay, out of 10, if 10 was like, that's amazing and I love it, 0 was like, I really hate it, I don't usually use the words hate, but I really dislike it. If it's a 0, you might want to look at it, or close to a 0. If it's a 10, great, use it. If it's somewhere in the middle, just go, okay. And then you can start to see, and you can start to help yourself to evolve and expand your awareness, expand your consciousness. And in that, you can start to make more conscious choices of what really is resonating for you to move towards, or away from. You're expanding your intuition, your own inner guru, your own inner knowing. Okay, so let's do a little card reading. This is one of my favourite packs at the moment, and I will need my glasses for this. This is Denise Lynn, the Time Traveller's Oracle. Oh, can you even see that? Oh, there you go. Time Traveller's Oracle. Okay. So I have shuffled. I'm going to shuffle one more time and pick it. Let's see what we get. I'm just going to pick randomly and see which one we have. Transformation. Don't you just love this? I'm not really sure why I can't. Oh, there you go. Can you see that there? There you go. Transformation. So this is card number 40. So the Time Traveller's Oracle, I love it. It's a card pack which takes you back in time. I don't know if it goes forward in time, but to go to a time where there are places or people or things, typically it's places, that resonate with a particular word. So I love the fact we've got transformation. So before I show you the card again, it looks like whirling dervishes or something. Anyway, let's have a look. I don't even know what they are, but I kind of recognise something about them. Or maybe I picked this card before, probably, because it is my favourite pack at the moment. So we are with transformation, and we are with Rumi. And those of you, I'm sure a lot of you know Rumi, the beautiful poet of Persia. Some subliminal words that he has spoken and uttered, even when they've been translated into English. Beautiful. So this is Rumi of Persia, transformation. Let's see if I can get that card so it shows. There we go. Okay. We are sitting on a beautiful carpet inside a large room, where in the 13th century, in Atalonia in the Middle East, to connect with the poet and mystic Rumi, dancing before us with the moonlight shining through the window, are the majestic whirling dervishes. That's what I thought. They seem to be in a kind of ecstatic trance. Wide skirts, emphasizing their flow as they twirl around and around. Rumi explains to us that he believes that music, poetry and dance can be a path to touching the divine. He tells that he used to recite prayers, but now he reaches the Creator through poetry and song instead. We are especially touched as he talks about the path of spiritual ascent, in which the seeker symbolically and powerfully transforms away from the ego and turns towards truth and love. People have continued to cherish his words about transformation, demonstrating that they are just as true and relatable creatures later as when he wrote them. I'm going to say that again because I've actually said that last sentence incorrectly. That's funny. People have continued to cherish his words about transformation, demonstrating that they are just as true and relatable centuries later as when he wrote them. And this is the Time Traveller's message. Transformation is a dramatic and complete change in appearance or a shift in your perception of yourself. It occurs when you have the faith to step out of the confines of your ordinary reality. When you alter the normal way you view yourself, you will expand into a greater awareness of your place in the universe. Right now, you are ready to reach into the invisible yet very real realm of spirit. Even though you can see what's ahead, beneath the surface of life, powerful forces are supporting you on the journey ahead. Trust the process and have faith in yourself. Use dance, poetry and music to reach the Creator and step into your transformation. Additionally, have patience that an amazing plan is unfolding, even if it doesn't always seem like it. This card indicates that enlightenment is ahead. The key words for this transformation to unfold are trust and faith. That's a beautiful card. And do you know what I love when I pick these cards? They're just like, they're always on point. However I pick them, they're always perfect for whatever the subject matter is that we are covering. Anyway, if you feel ready to expand your consciousness and receive weekly intuitive guidance, you can check out my Patreon page, which I'll put a link at the top or at the bottom of the video. And there is a paid subscription, or you can just listen for free to some of the things that I posted on there. So thank you very much for watching. Have a beautiful day.